Reconnect feature is finally here. Final zones are no longer pulling as often. Player health is now up to 150 from 100, which is how it ended in Warzone 1. You can get up to 4 times boosted XP from looting the supply drops that drop on the new map. They even added a flare that you could shoot at any point in the game to instantly res a dead teammate. Favorited supply boxes that will drop your guns are now back. Strongholds are now immediately active at GameStar and don't have NPCs. Players can also recapture those to take over the UAV effect that the initial team got. A number of quality of life improvements, including no longer needing to drop plates and ammo before using their respective boxes. You can siphon gas from other vehicles to put in a gas can, throw them in yours. The F-Tac Siege machine pistol can now go akimbo. Even DMZ got some big updates, including a complete out-of-raid base that you can upgrade, have a stash for that can hold cash you can bring into future missions. And the Stealth Vest now counters advanced UAVs and comms vests. They're further increasing movement speed with faster gun pullouts after parachuting. Skins have now even been added to tactical and lethal grenades. And for your practice, there's a new LTM that's inspired by Hardpoint, which is more plunder-focused. If you've been playing this as much as I have, you know these are some much-needed updates. But of course, we have the full patch notes here for Season 4 that I wanted to go through. First thing David mentioned is fixing stability. That, of course, with the new Reconnect feature, I am very glad to see. Of course, we have new weapons, the Tempest Razor Assault Rifle and the ISO 45 submachine gun, which was in Warzone 1. They're even adding a new melee weapon, although melee with a gun has been nerfed, decreasing the lunge range as well as the damage. Shotgun pellets now prioritize the highest damage, so overall, they should feel a little bit more consistent when you use them. A number of them receive multiplier buffs as well. Because the overall player health has increased by 50 health, all of the guns are going to feel a lot worse. The Cronin Squall getting even a bigger nerf on top of it. Of course, that new battle rifle. Fennec SMG got a slight buff, but it really seems like they haven't adjusted the weapons too much to let the health change do most of the work. Bomb Squad could also be more useful because it mentions clamping the maximum damage, unless, of course, you're direct impacted, which might save you a couple more times with that 1 HP. You also might see a new indicator when you're shooting an enemy and knock them, and it'll tell you how many players were recently shooting that target, which is nice to tell if you were team firing somebody and you both knocked the same one, if you call a knock, or hopefully leads to less confusion. For the tactical skins, they mention a Wumpa grenade. A whole lot of stuff for multiplayer in here as well, including ranked as well as new maps. I usually stick to Battle Royale and DMZ, more the Warzone side of things, though. Of course, with the new season, we have a new event. It is associated with the new Vondel map. You'll earn medals as you go around and use the taxi, reinforced flares, all the new stuff. It works towards a community challenge, but the individual challenge will be how you get that new melee weapon. This new map, though, is created by Beanux, the same creators of Rebirth Island. And this is what they had to say on it. This is the first medium-sized urban map in Warzone, so it will be bigger than Ashika. Our team has also made sure that our visually striking map has seamless navigation from top to bottom. There's a lot of verticality in this. We built this map considering all of our previous Warzone experiences in mind. And like we did in Rebirth Island in the past, we wanted to create something fun, unique, and engaging with enough depth so that there's always something cool to try and learn for every time you play in Vondel, which is definitely something they captured well on Rebirth, from mantling, repositioning, even being able to play the gas. The goal here from the beginning was to create something new enough that you would love to immerse yourself in and learn every corner of. We continue to evolve and improve the Resurgence game mode we created for Warzone to provide a rich experience in every match. And they're expanding on that by adding dynamic fog, which will change your visibility depending on where you are at the map, at what time of the match. Having dynamic Resurgence, meaning that if you're playing solos in quads, you will have a solos timer. If some of your team leaves, there's only 2 of you guys, you're going to have a shorter cooldown than the team with a 4-man. There's now vengeance icons, so when your teammate gets taken down, you can go hunt that person with a mark on them and get additional time off your cooldown. And while I don't play much Resurgence myself, I am very excited to try this out. Almaz's Sandstorm is also now cleared up with new gigantic sandbanks that'll be available and holes in buildings. They upped the overall vibrancy of the vegetation throughout the map. With the player health increase, though, this means your total health pool will be 300. And alongside that, they changed the way the regeneration works, delaying it to 7 seconds instead of 5, stating, "We've extended the number of bullets required for the down, while increasing the time to regenerate full health, enabling players to capitalize on the damage that they've done and providing increased value for the Stim Tactical as well, which not too many people use. Wonderful quality of life update here too. Players will automatically pick up 9 plates, 3 in your active loadout, and then 2 full stacks in your backpack. I complained a lot about this with it just picking up ammo instead, and you have to keep dropping. Excellent. With those gas cans that you can now siphon fuel out of cars, they now have percentage indicators. So if you only partially fuel a car, it's not going to use the entire gas can. You'll still have a % left in it. Of course, the biggest one I started this all with, though, is the rejoin feature. And they do mention this is in beta. You will have 4 minutes to reconnect from disconnecting from a match. And you do have to have at least 1 player alive. So this does not work in solos, sadly. Hopefully something that is coming, though. And there must still be 5 squads remaining in the match, probably to prevent some end game cheese and breaking the game, as they do also mention some known issues with it. There's now a kill cam in the Gulag, the new amphibious vehicle, and with the new public event on Vondel, if you capture the box that comes out of the sky, you will get double XP that stacks on top of any player double XP you might have, giving you 4 times. This can also drop portable buy stations, cash, muni boxes, armor boxes, so you can decide if you want to really go for it or not. One tip to remember is make sure you have your favorite loadout actually set, so that way now when you find these favorited supply boxes, it will drop your guns you want. If you are running resupply perk, they've nerfed it quite drastically to 50 seconds per restock instead of 30. The redeploy drone that comes crashing out of the sky will just do base 50 damage now. It's not variable. Still, don't get hit by it. Bounty contracts will now also prioritize targets that are actually on the ground in close proximity, so not the people parachuting over who fly a million miles away. Be careful if you pick up the most wanted contract. You're now going to have a giant flag sticking off your back so people know it's you. Little bonus on Ashika Island, you will get Circle Peak for completing their data heist events. Those yellow rings that appear. And this one, I feel like they added for me because if you've seen my videos, I complain about this so much, especially for solos. Moving circles in the final phase now only move completely out of zone twice rather than 4 times, giving you effectively what they say, more time to fight, get into engagement, slower rotations. This lets you play for position and then get rewarded for being in that position early rather than it just coming down to luck of the pull time and time again. If you're going for flag caps in the Gulag, they also made it take longer. Gas is very punishing in this game, but they made it a little less so. Now down from 9 damage to 6 damage per second, so it'll give you a little bit more time when you're breathing that stuff in. And for the first 4 circles, it's going to do even less damage. Strongholds are also almost completely different. They are there at the start of the game. No NPCs on them. No more white boxes on them. They mentioned we're putting the focus of the strongholds on the loadout acquisition and the UAV benefit. These are all also capture required, no longer just bomb defusals that happen instantaneously. Completing them will still give you the black site key if you're the first person to complete it, but then other players can come and capture over your stronghold, taking that UAV effect that is so precious. That will also still get you a custom loadout, so that could be a good regain strategy. Black sites are still going to have NPCs, but that UAV effect will now be broadcast to everybody, showing the ring like it does for those UAV stations. There was so many bug fixes, a lot that I had never even seen personally, but they did fix an issue preventing spectators from hearing proximity voice comms, which I'm happy about. And of course, DMZ, which we saw a full blog post on a few days ago. The highlight of this all being the FOB, a base outside of the main raid. It has a weapons locker for your insured weapon slots, the cooldown on those slots, as well as, of course, your contraband stash that you can now expand without having to actually buy the game, potentially. A stash designed specifically as a wallet that you can unlock and increase the capacity of, meaning you can take cash in between raids to help you in future raids, increasing your key wallet as well. A bounty board, which this was found in raid before, also mentions buy station discounts, and a communication station with urgent messages. This is basically dailies that you can do to build towards your faction story mission to get from tier 1, 2, 3 on each of the factions. Now, rather than having to do 5 of those 6 missions, you can still do those missions for XP on that faction, but you can also do these urgent missions, these dailies that are a lot easier to work towards those story missions as well. If you have one that you just really don't want to do or can't find or can't do it solo, you can still make progress with this, which I think is awesome. That in addition with even more missions, the new Phalanx faction and them even reworking the existing ones also, of course, means this seasonal reset, which you guys have heard me talk about a lot on stream. stream. That is resetting everything, including your insured weapon slots this time. There is a new DMZ contract, hacking 3 other contracts, which earns you passive income. And of course, with the new map, new boss, new weapons cases, some cool adjustments though. Enemy combatants that are killed with a suppressor will now no longer call in reinforcements, so you can potentially clear out an area of AI. And this big juicy one, the stealth vest, which was so countered by the comms vest last season, is now going to have a gigantic effect, countering advanced UAVs and the comms vest altogether. So this could be a major win, especially if you're a solo player. Tons of information though. Let me know what you think. Give it a like if you enjoyed. Appreciate the full recap, and I'll see you in the next one. That's it for this one. StoneMass64, over and out.